Hello YouTube friends. I'm back for my annual video. It's nice to see you all. I'm a bit rusty in general, so I can't guarantee the quality of this video and how it'll be edited. The main priority is the words I've come with and not the clips in the video. I'm gonna try to get things from TikTok, but if that doesn't work, it'll more than likely just be clips from my Twitch. And as much as I would have liked to have a nicer put video, I just don't have the time or, quite frankly, the energy for it. But Hyunsuk is always important to me and always the person closest to my heart. I'm just afraid that the video quality reflects about how the year has gone for me. I feel like the year 2024 has brought me with my highest of highs but also my lowest of lows. I've had a lot of whirlwind of feelings, and things I thought would last felt swept under the rug from me, and it left me unsure of how to deal with the pieces that were left. But the one thing that was always there for me and always will continue to be there for me is Hyunsuk, and I'm always immensely grateful for him. 3. You see, I've been dealing with a lot of fan guilt over some time, but more specifically within this year, I've always tried to upkeep this channel to the best of my ability. After all, I've been editing videos of Treasure since before they even debuted. Even if my old channel is gone and there isn't the proof to show for it, those who know, know. But I've always held these boys close to my heart and always felt the need to do well for them. But considering the length of this milestone, it's really weird to think about how it's been a whole 6 years since YGTB, and since I've found Hyunsuk, and considering the way things have gone for me, I'm quite grateful that the universe at least let me have these boys who are so immensely special to me. And it's somewhat crazy in a way to think about. I've basically grown up with them, as weird as it might sound. But I was 16 when I started watching YGTB, and the boys are all pretty close to my age. I mean, Hyunsuk is 3 years older than me, and the rest are really quite close in age to me. But now I'm grown, and I felt weird about it, but then I thought, wait, so are they? And then I got emotional all over again. But they've accomplished a lot and I'm so proud of them. And I think all of it has to do with their talents and charms coming together, but I also believe a big part of it is Hyunsuk. And of course Jahoon's leadership helping to guide them. If I may say so myself, I feel like YG doesn't handle these boys as well as they could. And I'm sure anyone here knows what it's like being a treasure maker on Pop Twitter. But they are doing well despite any other circumstances that life may throw at them. I feel like sometimes all that treasure and treasure makers have is just each other. Maybe it's a cliche and maybe it's silly, but it's how I feel and I want to say it. I just think that these 10 boys are so lovely, but I'm always going to have the biggest soft spot for Hyunsuk in my heart, and I always think of him whenever I'm having a difficult time. So you could say that I've been thinking about Hyunsuk a lot more than usual this year. He's always been a source of warmth for me, somewhere I can't imagine finding from anywhere else. But I do think the way I see him treated online sometimes makes me feel very aware of just how fond I am of Hyunsuk, because I feel quite protective over him. I know that he's grown and can handle himself, and I'm sure he doesn't want to give too much mind to these people. But being on Pop Twitter sometimes can be really exhausting when I just see so many people out to make him the butt of all their jokes, or straight up just say such harmful and vile things directed towards him. Sometimes I'll see people make fun of him even if the conversation wasn't about him, and I honestly can't tell you how many times I found myself feeling irate over this. Like these people really have no self-awareness of how foul they look. And I'm aware that not everyone is going to like Hyunsuk, or Treasure for that matter. I also know that he's made mistakes before, and he probably will in the future at some point, but that doesn't make him a bad person, or someone that these cretins get to make fun of for their own entertainment. All it makes him is just simply a person, and we're all doing our best to survive. And I know we don't know Hyunsuk personally, but the one thing I really have observed over these 6 years of being a fan is just the genuine warmth and kindness that he radiates. And I know he's very passionate, thoughtful and caring about who he loves, and I think he carries himself so well, with an aura I still haven't seen anywhere else. He's just a special person, and this year has made me really realize I wish I could work as Treasure's bodyguard. Like honestly, I can't stand seeing people treat Hyunsuk, or Treasure in general, so badly. But I just hope that I'm unfortunate and come across bad people on Twitter, but I just feel like these scoundrels are really everywhere. But all I can do is just look to support them the best I can. But coming back to what I said in the beginning, I really do feel some fan guilt because, as we all know, this channel isn't the most active. I try to reason with myself that I don't have the most content to work with, and it had just become repetitive. But also at the same time, it's hard to find the energy, and most days I just want to use my energy reserve to get through the day. And I have Treasure to help me with it. Not all of the year was so unpleasant. I was so happy with the release of King Kong earlier in the year. I feel like it was such a nice song with great energy, and it's something that still to this day I can repeat without any boredom. I know I can listen to songs repetitively, but I really like King Kong. I think it's one of their best. And at first the only thing I was hesitant about was just the timing of the release. May is a month that brings back a lot of unpleasant memories and I have bad associations with it. But I think looking forward to some new Treasure content really helped me muscle through it. And it was a nice time. And my best friend is also a Treasure maker now, and it was her first proper comeback with them, and I just think it felt special to experience that with her. I've been around with Treasure since the beginning and I feel like I've always had this sense of just feeling like I'm used to being around them, and I'm grateful to have them in my life. And they are always close to my heart even when they are not super active, but it almost felt invigorating getting to experience things new through Sarah's eyes, like listening to the songs for the first time, watching the music videos, even watching Treasure Map, to her first comeback as a Treasure maker. It's so dear to my heart, and I wish people would realize how much joy these boys bring to our hearts. And my favorite thing, well, one of my favorite things about her becoming a fan is that she already knew Hyunsuk just because of how much I talked about him, but she also told me that even if she never heard me talk about Hyunsuk, she would have learned him the fastest out of all the members just because how he stands out. And I think this goes back to how I've always considered him to be someone with such a strong aura, someone who pulls you to him. I think he really is the backbone of Treasure. Sometimes I feel bad saying these types of things because I don't want to seem like I'm discrediting any of the other members. I know they all come together to make the perfect combination. But if you guys have watched these videos annually, then you guys know how I am about Hyunsuk anyways. But Hyunsuk is also the backbone to my own soul. No matter how often or how little I talk about Treasure and Hyunsuk, they are people I hold very close to my heart and with me wherever I go. In my own personal life this year I felt so many strong emotions and got close with people who I felt like changed my life in the best ways imaginable. But just in a flash, they are gone again and all you're left to do is deal with the remnants. Getting to feel love in its purest form and then having it, quite literally, taken from you, just sorta leaves you feeling like a shell. And I don't wanna overshare or trauma dump too much, even though I've done so on YouTube before anyways. But I just know that like always, Hyunsuk has been there to get me through all of my hard times, and I think his genuine warmth and his ability to be a sunshine is just what gives me strength. Even when I don't have the energy to muster it in my own heart, I'm just grateful and I know that I've found one of the best role models that this world could offer me. I know that oftentimes, the world feels bleak, dark and depressing, but I feel at the same time, it's given me the greatest gift and that's Hyunsuk. I'm truly so grateful for him in every aspect, and I just think that it's honestly quite crazy that it's been so long. And sometimes when I make these videos I feel a bit of guilt. I don't want to make any new fans feel bad if they haven't been around since pre-debut, but I can't help but reminisce about things when I think about my whole journey being a Treasure maker, and I just feel like I get a lot of time to think about it by the time this anniversary rolls around. I can never forget some of those feelings I've had. Those feelings I got purely from Treasure. The spark when I first saw him. The draw towards him that made me obsessive over YGTB. The need to follow him anywhere. I was willing to support him no matter what and no matter where he went if he hadn't made the final debut lineup. I can't forget the moment he got announced. Truly a moment that felt cinematic for me. Getting home exactly at 9:59 p.m. before the announcement, falling to the ground BC I got emotional. Or just 2019 in general was such a bleak time being a Treasure maker. Not much going on. 2020 of course being such an amazing time with them getting to debut. Of course 2020 in my personal life was an absolute dumpster fire, with of course the pandemic as well as people passing away, both in my personal life and one of my wrestler idols. It was not a good time, but Treasure really got me through it. Just like Treasure got me through this year. 2. I'll just say that the whirlwind of emotions I felt this year I wouldn't wish even on my worst enemy. Since I don't want to say it directly, if I had to summarize it in just a song, I would say Gone by Rose. Lol'll do with that what you will. But anyways, I'm not sure how coherent this video will be. I haven't really had the energy to make this as properly as I would have liked, but any video is better than no video. This time of year is just as important to me as any holiday that I enjoy. Honestly, for that matter. Speaking of holidays, I don't even celebrate Thanksgiving lol. I just felt like mentioning that because my anniversary with Hyunsuk falls close to around that day, but I don't think anything could compare as equally important to me as this day with Hyunsuk is. I feel like I really have found a gift from the universe. A true treasure if you will. And I know that I'm not always the best fan to him, but he's always close to my heart and I couldn't imagine supporting anyone else so wholeheartedly. 3. Thanks to Hyunsuk I've made a lot of friends, some of whom I'm still in touch with, and I met them during YGTB era. My longtime best friend finally becoming a treasure maker and we can bond over that. And the countless bad things that life has thrown at me, I feel like I can handle now, because I have him. Even if life makes existing hard sometimes, my heart is always fully with him. But I do have to be fully transparent. My love for Hyunsuk has remained the same and not much has changed, but I will admit, I can't do the daily letters anymore. I just don't really have the energy for him. And I never ran out of things to say, but I just feel like if I knew Hyunsuk personally I would probably be bothersome to him in some way and those letters probably wouldn't be too appealing to him. And after a while I just slowly stopped. I do still feel bad about it though. Maybe I'll bring them back on New Year's? I don't know yet. I felt bad at first because I thought it may make others think that I love him less. But in all honesty, they're just very time and energy consuming. And he's very worth both of those things. I'm just unfortunately not as strong of a person as he is, but I'm always aiming to try because he's my role model and I always want to be like him. Something I'll never stop doing is trying to emulate his best qualities. Because I really think Hyunsuk is a spectacular person, and I think for this anniversary I'm just feeling very grateful, especially after the year I've had. It honestly went downhill in August. But yeah, I'll get better eventually. I think that's all for the anniversary video, but I just wanted to keep it simple. If you watched it this long, thank you. I love you guys as much as I love Hyunsuk and I really mean it. Thank you guys for always being kind to me and sticking around even when I don't upload so much. Once Treasure Map comes back I'll try. 2. I like to live a stream if you guys are interested in gaming, but that's about the only way I could be active. Anyways, that's all, so I'm going to bounce, but thank you guys for being you. And thank you for loving Hyunsuk with me. You guys are all lovely and so is he. I have so much love in my heart. But until next time, I'll be off now. Bye bye lovelies.